Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So, Ahmed, thanks for having me again in the MisinfoCon. It's great to be here. To be back, yes. First, I'm sorry, I'm Brazilian and my English is very bad. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, just please raise your hand. I'll repeat myself with a lot of pleasure. So the IFCN is actually working to fight the misinformation around the coronavirus, which is a big work. And if I look tired, it's because I'm not even sleeping, because we're working 24 hours a day in different time zones since the 24th of January. This is a little bit of the work we've been doing so far, and I wanted to start on January 24th, and this is how the collaboration among fact-checkers started. We saw that something was going on in China when a friend of us from Taiwan sent me an information about some people, we didn't know a lot about them, that were being arrested in Wuhan and as misinformers, and we weren't sure what would happen to them, right? We don't know the laws in China, we don't know what was going on in China, and we started digging to find information about those 8 people. And then we suddenly realized that maybe they weren't misinformers, that maybe they were already talking about what then later became known as coronavirus, and they were not lying, they were actually telling the truth. And well, so I sent this short email to our listserv. The IFCN has a wonderful listserv in a Slack channel, asking people if they were willing, our members are all over the world, and asking if they wanted to collaborate, fact-checking content about this weird virus that by that time had killed 17 people and looked very, very dangerous by that time. 17 was already a lot. And so in a few minutes, we got many responses from everywhere you can imagine, and I suddenly realized that we had to start working the way we are very used to do in the IFCN. So just to give a few examples, we started to apply for the first time in the health universe, something that we're very used to do in the politics universe, right? In 2019 also, like 2-3 months before the coronavirus started, we had the UN General Assembly, and we coordinated a coalition to fact-check what was being said at the New York headquarters, and we debunked, 43 claims and from different prime ministers, presidents, and we realized that only 13 of them were true. So we're very used to do that. When Juan Guaido in Venezuela tried to take the presidency from Nicolas Maduro, and I don't know if taken is the right verb in English for that, but anyway, we also did the collaboration among LATAM fact-checkers, and we got the hashtag #VanFacts going in Latin America. It was a very interesting event, and this has been for a while. Since 2014, at least, this is when I started being part of the IFCN's community. We've been doing that, and I just brought that information of the G20 fact-checked hackathon that was actually covered by the Washington Post fact-checker and by the Washington Post itself, since we debunked so many claims by the former President Obama, former President Dilma, Erdogan is still the president, right? But anyway, this is something that we're very used to apply when it comes to summits with politicians, and we thought that it was time to try to coordinate a collaboration to fight misinformation regarding falsehoods in health. So we built something that we found it could be easy to do. A very easy way to start was to do what we do always. We created a Google Doc with 2 Google Docs, one for everything that we knew was true, another one something that we knew was false, and a Google Sheet that we could share with every link that we found that was false, that we need to tell others, that to be very alert about it, and we kept a dedicated Slack channel. But then we the hours passed by, and we realized it was not going to be as easy as the cases in politics, because first, we were dealing with different languages for 24 hours a day, and it was not only just an event, it was going to last for a long time, and we needed to move fast every day, and it's been like that for almost a month now, and this is what we decided to do. We were not going to only produce fact checks, but also reports, because we're not dealing only with the unit of the falsehoods, but we also need to deal with the overall view of what's going on in this universe, right? So we have published so far 6 reports, but I'm now going to show you the first 5 of them, because the 6th was published like yesterday, and I didn't have time to update the presentation. I'm sorry for that. But just to give you an idea, the first report was published 4 days after the collaboration started, and we already had 20 fact checks published in that one. And by that time, the death toll was already 131, so from 17 to 131. And we had 20 fact checks, and what was very interesting in that report is that we were already seeing 3 waves of misinformations, types of misinformation, and then I could easily tell you these 3 different types of misinformation, and I hope you didn't get them, but I bet you did. First, the old pattern, right? There was this crazy information going viral in the United States, in Canada, in Brazil, in India, in France, and Germany, at least, saying that there was this pattern related to another coronavirus, and we shouldn't believe it was a new virus. But that's totally false, as you can tell. Then the false origins. Well, the bats are very badly seen right now, but also the bananas. Bananas were accused too. I don't know if that came to the United States, but in Indonesia and in some parts of Asia, the bananas were very widely accused of being the cause of coronavirus. And then the conspiracy theories. Oh, Bill Gates is behind it all, right? And also the Chinese biological weapons. And then the United States trying to kill half of Chinese because there is this tax war. And all the conspiracy theories. So all of that was very easy to see in the first report. And then here I can easily show you, these are very weird print screens from Brazil, United States, and Canada with the same crazy idea, just to prove you that this is related to the patent. It's all over. I think it's all the same day, the 21st. I'm sorry, I don't think you can read that, but it's all on the same day. They popped up at the same time in different parts of the world. And then the second report, it was 6 days after the collaboration started, and we already had 86 fact checks published. And then the trend here was kind of different. Fact checkers were having trouble to fact check photos and videos. And why is that? Because in China, as you might know, Facebook is not there, Google's not there, Twitter's not there. They use different platforms, social media platforms. Weibo, I'm not pronouncing that properly, probably. They have Line, Kakao Talk in South Korea. They have some different platforms that they use, and a majority of fact checkers are not used to either have accounts on those platforms or don't know how to deep search on those platforms. So it was kind of tough to find content and do reverse image search, for example. And then we were having trouble with that. But then we started seeing falling people. I don't know if you've seen those videos, those edited videos of people just falling to death wearing masks in China, but actually they were just or drunk or having heart attacks. And then the nurses advising of craziness that were going on in their hospitals in Wuhan or in Hubei, not true. And also the craziness around the numbers of infected people and death and the death tolls. We're seeing posts saying that the coronavirus has already killed 25,000 people, which is far from the real number. The real number today is around 1,500, if I'm not mistaken. So the same thing again. Some print screens, some screenshots from Spain, United States, and Colombia. The same crazy numbers. The 10,000 dead people. It pops up in different types of different countries and different languages at the same time, just to show you how crazy misinformation is and how fast the falsehoods travel from one country to the other, and how easy it is to copy and paste misinformation and translate it. And then the third report is, what is that? 11 days after the collaboration started, 180 fact checks. And then we're talking about 90 fact checkers from 39 countries working together in 15 languages. This is when the collaboration reaches its size, the actual size it has now. And then we realized that what's going on with humanity, right? Panic and fear, it should be limiting human reasoning. What's wrong with us? Why are we believing all this craziness? Why is everyone believing the Simpsons have predicted everything? Why do we share this? Why is this something in Spain, Bosnia, and Turkey? Why do people keep sharing these falsehoods as if they were true? And then we go to the fourth, and then we reach we're over 300 fact checks, and it's 14 days. And it's amazing to see like the work fact checkers are doing, and because what we do is we coordinate every fact check that is published and shared in those documents. Those shared documents can be republished, translated, and republished by all partners in the collaboration project. So it just seems like it's never ending, the number of falsehoods. And now what we see is that, of course, Google, Twitter, and Facebook can do a lot more than what they're doing to highlight the fact checks that are already published. There is at least the back end of the fact checks are ready to be well exposed in Google search and in Facebook and in Twitter. And it's not. If you Google now coronavirus, as somebody just said before, you're probably going to get the CDC or some alerts, but you're not going to get a fact check right away. And we as fact checkers wonder why. Why aren't people getting the facts right? And then this is a screenshot of what you get when you Google or you search for Instagram, and this is Twitter. They could do more, and the IFCN, from the IFCN's point of view, we have so many ideas, and we could help. We could discuss what to do. And then we reached the 21st day of the collaboration with 400 fact checks. And this is what we see: the craziness around false cures and fake preventative measures, which is like the very dangerous part of the collaboration. We're just seeing people believing, and then the death toll just is over 1,000 people, and this is when we as fact checkers, we really think we need to do a lot more, and we decided to create a special list search, at least on Twitter, to highlight the false cures and fake preventative measures. They need to be very clear to people, because what you're seeing is these things like vitamin C, different teas, or drinking hot water will help you prevent from being infected from coronavirus. And then you're having false cures, very dangerous, because if you are sick, if you are infected with coronavirus, you're not going to cure yourself by drinking bleach, and that is something that was very widely shared here in the United States. And you shouldn't eat garlic soup or use somehow cow's urine. That's kind of crazy. And you're also seeing people sharing content about vaccines that are being created and tested and supposedly being good for coronavirus in Romania and Kenya and some other countries. This is all fake, and this is being widely shared, so no. And what are the barriers that we still face, and what are the lessons that we have learned so far, right? So some of the lessons: first, falsehoods do not have a barrier. They are not being stopped by languages. They're not being stopped by any kind of frontiers, anything like that. Well, the IFCN and the fact checkers can work together and are doing a very important job. The biggest proof that we have now is the fact that the misinformation is actually changing from one kind to the other, which means that the moment we attack false cures, they jump into videos. The moment we attack videos, they jump into something else. So this means that the changes we've been seeing, that what is trending in the falsehoods is a symptom of the effect of the impact of the work that is being done by collaboration. We now have the biggest, if somebody's fact-checking me, I would love to see if that's true, but it seems like it's the biggest fact-checking newsroom active in the world. We don't sleep. We have 24-hour work. And I think this morning we passed 500 fact checks. In the collaboration, since we're dealing with something related to China, the fact checkers are more comfortable with rating content as unproven, which is something that mostly fact checkers are not happy with, the unproven tag. And satire is something that we should be very careful. And the barriers, of course, we need to talk about China and China not offering good, reliable data. We need to learn more about platforms that we're not used to, like the ones that I listed, Weibo, Line, KakaoTalk, TikTok itself. And of course, again, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google, all of them need to do more to highlight the fact checks that are published, and the encrypted apps, and then I'm saying WhatsApp, Instagram, and the others that you might use could help too, because in some countries they are big. And while the confirmation bias, something that we talked previously here in this stage, is very, very dangerous. So what is ahead? Very shortly, Mohammed, we are publishing fact checks. We're planning to start studying the impact and the reach of our work. We are searching for people who are interested in doing that thing with us. So please, if you are one of those, please contact me later. And here is the URL for those who want to follow and have the latest updates on the coronavirus fact-checking. That's it. Thank you.